Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. On this occasion, I will explain or provide information about problems or deviation from learners of English in Indonesia when pronouncing or sounding vowels or consonant in a word or sentence. 1. Problems or deviation to sound consonant. A. Consonant V. Indonesian learners pronounce it by equating V with V. For example, in word villa, which should be pronounced villa, but learners pronounce it with villa. B. Consonant T. This sound produced by the tip of the tongue touching upper teeth. Indonesian learners pronounce it by equating T to D. For example, in the word bother, which should be pronounced bother, but the learners pronounce it with bother. C. Consonant Z. Indonesian learners pronounce it by equating Z to S. For example, in the word result, which should be pronounced result, but the learners pronounce it with result. 2. Problems to sound vowels and diphthong. A. Vowel E is one of the long vowels where the Indonesian learners sometimes equate E to E. For example, in the word this, which should be pronounced this, but the Indonesian learners pronounce it with this. B. Vowel Actually, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it in English phonetic system, but this is also difficult to pronounce it by the learners of English in Indonesian. Sometimes equate to E. For example, in the word heard, which should be pronounced heard, but the Indonesian learners pronounce it with heard. C. Diphthong I, A, and O. First, diphthong I become problems to pronounce it because sometimes learners equate I to E. For example, in the word identify, which should be pronounced identify, but the learners pronounce it with identify. Second, diphthong A become problems to pronounce it because sometimes learners equate A to E. For example, in the word break, which should be pronounced break, but the learners pronounce it with break. Third, diphthong O also become problems to pronounce it because sometimes learners equate O to O. For example, in the word over, which should be pronounced over, but the learners pronounce it with over. Therefore, even though we are still familiar with some of vowels and consonant, but sometimes we are still make mistakes or deviation in pronouncing them in a word. That is why it is important for us to first know the knowledge of the English phonetic system before learn English pronunciation.